Hello.
Hello, hello. How are you, Mr. Greg Jones?
Hi, Lucy. I'm good. How are you?
So nice to meet you. This has been so fun getting into a chat with you.
Yeah, this is interesting.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
no, it's great. I was just trying to do some reviews there on the Shine on the school. What is it? School.com,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah. So this is so fun. So I'm going to just kind of like give a summary since we've decided
yeah.
to spontaneously jump on a recording.
Yeah.
Uh, And I love you for doing this, for just like
Yeah.
having the willingness because I get really excited about being in this conversation and anyone willing to do that is just a really awesome person. So,
No
um,
problem. We'll see.
oh yeah. Oh, it's gonna be good. We have no clue because right now
Yeah.
the first thing everyone should know, whoever's listening to this, is that we're meeting for the first time right now on this call, on this Zoom, and we just started chatting on school in the chat because you joined the GDP, the Great Discovery Project, which
Yeah.
is my community on school. And I'm going to map it out that you probably found it off my website because you heard me speak.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. And so you
Yeah.
heard me speak on, was it online or was it at one of the school board like in-person
It
events?
was the school board meeting, the OAPSE.
The one online, the virtual one?
That's right. Yeah.
That's the one. That was the All Ontario broadcast one.
Yeah.
That's right. That was a few
So
weeks
it's good.
ago.
It's good you got on there.
Oh, thank you so much. So that
Yeah.
was so great. So this morning we started chatting. I let you into my group last night or something, and then I've been here at my desk. I've been working on some marketing materials and working on a reel for a school that I'm visiting in January.
Okay.
And we just started talking, and I thought, okay, you asked me if I have a podcast. You asked me if I
Yeah.
make YouTube, and I'm like, want to be on it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so pumped to have you here. This is just great. I'm grateful for your willingness.
Yeah.
So,
No problem. My pleasure.
so why don't you share what was it for you when you heard me speak? What's the thing that resonated the most for you?
Well, there was an opportunity to join OAPSE. So I just
Okay.
kind of raised my hand. I've had some time on my hands lately. So
Okay, so tell the story. Like we have time. We're gonna see where this
yeah,
conversation
absolutely.
goes.
Well, as I mentioned to you earlier, so I had a stroke in June.
Okay.
So I've been off work since, and nonetheless, I'm looking to participate in my kids' education more. I want to be
Brilliant.
involved in their lives, of course.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, heard about you on OAPSE. You did your brief presentation. I thought it was great. I don't hear much talk about kids and their the content they're consuming, which like I see, we have our own battles in the household,
Of
right?
course. Of
With
course.
the kids and amongst my wife and myself, but this is important stuff.
Right.
It's
Like and
important.
and I also learned about you in our texting thread that was so great that you have four children.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
do I remember ages 3 to 10?
Yeah, you got
Ah,
it. Yeah.
I got so excited for you. Mine are 16 and 18, and it's just a different Christmas. Like holidays
Oh
are
yeah.
coming and like they are fired up, aren't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that spirit, that energy in children. Like
Yeah.
the holidays are just, oh, they're just
Yeah.
the best. You're gonna have the best
Yeah.
holidays.
I will say three of the four advent calendars are completed.
It's day
So,
nine.
I mean, that was a battle too, but hey,
3 out of 4.
there you
Let
go.
me
You're not
guess.
going to get it tomorrow. Yeah.
Is it the 3-year-old that's being good?
No, yeah, the 3-year-old's good. So the other ones are gone. Theirs are gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lasted what, 9 days? Yeah.
9 days.
So,
And they banged out 25.
yeah. So even with their piggy bank money, I said, let them go broke. It's the best thing for them right now.
Oh my gosh.
Go broke now so you don't go broke later.
Oh, God, love them. I love that so much. I love
Yeah.
children so much. It's like,
Yeah.
it's really my thing. And I just think back, I mean, every year, every stage is different, right? So
Mhm.
I can imagine that, like, for me, there's an excitement that you caught my talk now
Yeah.
because there are habits and things that you will just be able to bypass and avoid. Like your children won't be subjected to the kinds of things that like I'm learning as I go. And this started emerging for me in my parenting journey.
Yeah.
So it's 2025, December 2025. So I have a real marked moment in my mind in the spring of 2015. So my daughter would have been 6, my son would have been 8. That's 10 years ago. And I remember reading an article about the direct correlation between Instagram and young girls committing suicide.
Yeah.
So that was that's like a marked moment in my mind where I just like, what? The alarm bells went off. And like,
That's
I have not ever really been the same since. And then my listening of the world changed and like what was important changed. And I know that you asked me a little bit about that in our texting thread. So I'm bringing that up because it's one of those things where I don't really have a control over it anymore. Like, I mean, it just is so important to me. It matters so much to me that parents, educators, anyone that's in the space with young people like understands how powerful these technologies are and
mhm.
understands what the playbook is with these tech billionaires.
Yes.
Like they're very
Yeah.
comfortable with telling us that this is safe and wonderful for our kids and they're going to be tech savvy and all the things.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're raising their kids with little, like the absolutely zero tech.
That's evident. Yeah.
They're going, it's public knowledge. They're going to
Yeah.
like the Waldorf schools or whatever they're called. I think they're called Waldorf. There's zero technology. There's one room in an entire school that has computers that the kids go and learn how to code and understand how technology is built, but they don't
Yeah.
interface with it. They don't have, their faces being biometrically recorded and mapped, their
Yeah.
psyche, their brain, their reactions, all the things. And a lot of people
Yeah.
don't know that
Seeing what
that's
they watch, like I
all
look.
of it. The tracking, the movements, all the things, the heart rate, all of it. It's like
It
they know
knows how
everything
old
about
the
us.
kid is. It knows how old the kids are, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you, so my older two are my stepkids, but I've been dad since they were in diapers,
God
like
bless.
they were
Okay.
3 and 1. But yeah,
Hmm.
seeing the different stages, right? And
Right.
it's best to get it right as soon as you can because everything trickles down amongst the ages with the kids.
Oh,
Like
yes.
one is doing, the next wants to do, right?
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. So
Yeah. So there's so many things that you'll be able to avoid. I'm just so grateful that you're in my space because everything that I'm doing, the whole plan is that I'm going to actually eventually figure out what I'm doing. Because right now this is a
no,
big
no,
experiment.
it's
It's a
you're
huge
you're going somewhere good. So
Thank you. Well,
yeah,
I don't actually have a plan, and that needs to be spoken out loud because
that's
this
okay. Yeah.
school this school community came into my world in August.
Mhm.
But I have to say it's been a dream of mine. It's been on my heart for probably since about 2018 because my natural mapping of this problem has caused me to believe deeply that there needs to be a community around this. There
Yeah.
needs to be first and foremost a conversation. So you have to have a conversation, you need to create the space, right? So
Yeah.
like just like here today, we spontaneously have jumped on a Zoom to have a
Yeah.
conversation, right? Like create the space, open up this opportunity and share and just dialogue, just talk it out because it's a big, big, big problem. And the solutions are not going to be the same for everyone. They're not. The dynamics in the household, the amount of children, the ages that they are, what do parents do for a living? Like, is there a stay-at-home presence or is it all work? Like, because people are, I feel like they're at the maximum bandwidth for what they can handle with stress and everything that's coming at them. And
Mhm.
technology like these devices have morphed into what I call digital babysitter and all that kind of stuff that we can talk about. And like, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So being in conversation around it, building a community around this is
Yeah.
what I think is going to help them, like help us broaden our reach, broaden the message, like just experiment and play with it and find our way forward, right? Like I just loved everything. There's these little bits and bobs of what we were talking about on text. I'm like, this is wonderful stuff. This is what it is. We're figuring it out, right?
It's important. I mean, it can easily get out of hand with kids and guys. They won't put it, it's dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. Like they'll have it forever if you let them.
Right.
But it's important. It's important for parents to talk about it, and they got to be on the same page.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
like
Yes.
zero amount of time on a gadget might not be an option, but
Right.
but 8 hours is obviously out of inappropriate, you know, like, so,
So,
but
so
it's good. Even when we brought the
it,
kids for their last checkup, even the doctors are talking about it now, mind the time on the phones. They
I,
even our doctor, the family doctor, was asking if we sit at the table for dinner, which I was glad to hear. This is a
right,
family doctor, right?
right,
Like, and
right.
I mean, we might only be batting like 400 with that, but that's better than zero, right?
Listen, there's kids that have never experienced it. It's just in front of the TV, in front of devices, and there's no judgment here, right? This is how we're coping. This is how we're moving through life. Like we're dealing with our schedules and all of the demands.
Yeah,
And um, I feel like I'm here kind of like raising my hand saying, can we just like zoom out a little and look at this thing and
mhm,
watch our behavior, watch how we move through our day, watch how much time our devices are taking from us. And
yeah,
then the like to be offering help and ideas and solutions. So the idea is like you're not using these devices to babysit your child when you could be engaging your child to know what's going on around them, right?
mhm.
And because there's a lot of kids that are just peering into their devices, right? They just, instead of interfacing with people in public, like I've seen it a lot, like little kids being
Yeah,
given a tablet when you're walking through the grocery store instead of like, oh,
right.
next to the lady when you're picking oranges, and like, just the little micro moments of eye
Yeah,
contact with little children. It's everything to make them feel safe and comfortable in community
yeah,
and with strangers and things. And I don't know if you remember, it is part of my talk when I talk about what happens at the other end when they're raised, when they've had the education and they've gone out in the world and gotten a job. And then they're quitting and getting fired at record numbers right
yeah.
now because they
Bringing their
can't.
parents to interviews, I think you mentioned.
Yes,
Right?
bringing
Yeah,
parents to interviews.
yeah, yeah,
19% of college grads believe that they should be able to bring their parents to job interviews. It's an absolute fact. That's a survey of 600 employers, I believe now 2 years ago. That statistic that just rattled my cage. That's another moment I had where I was like, wait a second. We're
yeah.
producing like not viable humans, like you and I jumping on this call. What did this really take from us? I think we're from a generation where I can talk to a stranger, I
Yeah,
can meet
yeah,
somebody.
yeah. Let's see.
Let's
Yeah,
go. Let's
yeah,
see what
yeah,
happens,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
But this is not their world, and
yeah,
I want to be sensitive to that and understand that, and also like just raise the alarm, kind of like, wait a second, when you just pacify your child just because you want to get the groceries done, or when you go out with the girls to have a coffee date, like I'm no judgment, like everybody needs connection, right? So you go and you
yes,
meet up and you have your ch children in strollers and you tablet them, and none of the kids are interacting, but you get to have your moment with the mamas.
yes,
Like I've seen that so many times at coffee shops that I'm just like, so those kids, like it's not that I'm not saying that that's all that they did that day and that they never interfaced, but the stranger, like just that the tablet was where they disappeared when social was happening
yeah,
is how that stacks up. And then you're grown up and you're not good with the strangers and you're not good with the interfacing. And it's
yeah,
like figuring it out. And, like there's a thing in an article that I was reading about this employer survey. It went a little bit deeper and they were just talking about how, why do you have to like who you work with? You just have like you don't not everyone is your friend and they don't have to
no,
be. There's
no,
like a safety in just, hey, we come together, we work, we get stuff done, and we go home and we get on with our lives, right? Like
yeah,
it's not supposed to be so nurturing and so a certain way all the time. And there's like a mental toughness that
yeah,
I get into and I get excited about because I feel like when you know you can do something, it builds your confidence. Like you're
yeah,
just able and capable, and then that stacks in a very different way. And I think your trajectory changes,
yeah,
right? So so I don't know if people know this, but I do have private clients. I coach students one-on-one privately. And one of the biggest things is to encourage them to take these little moments, these micro moments, and take a chance. And
right,
like walking into the high school cafeteria with your phone far away from you at the bottom of your backpack,
Yeah.
Just make eye contact with people and interface, I call it. It shouldn't
Yeah.
be, it's a
Inter-
tech term, but anyway, like they should have some sort of an interaction with
Yeah.
completely random whoever you're grabbing your food through the cafeteria food line,
Yeah.
whoever's going to be in front of you, you're just going to let it roll.
Yeah.
See what you say to the cafeteria lady, like have a little bit of those like micro
100%.
moments.
100%. We're going for a car ride. Look out the window, look for cows,
Oh,
like whatever.
remember
Yeah.
when we were bored?
Yeah.
When when we were left to our own devices with literally no devices,
Yeah.
like what were we going to
Yeah.
get up to?
I know.
Right? That's the
And it's
thing.
not, and it's the world. It's not to belittle the kids either. It's the world they live in. It's a new challenge for them. Like each
Yes.
generation has their own, right? But that's good. Just the small things, and parents got to get on board with each other. Like
I feel
one
like,
might be more on board than the other. It's just talking about it, be willing to talk, be
yeah,
willing to push a little, knowing how your partner or like knowing your partner's boundaries. Cause obviously I don't like, I'm not the greatest with that. Sometimes I'll push my wife a bit too much and then it could be a fight between us.
sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But and I obviously don't want that, but we're in charge of these kids. We're trying to produce good humans,
Right. Yes.
productive humans,
Yes.
productive for themselves.
Present, self-aware,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
mentally resilient.
yeah.
There's a lot, like my research goes real deep, and the future is one of reinvention. And so you'd
Mhm.
have to understand in the first place that when you're a teenager, you're inventing yourself for the first time. You're becoming present to the fact that you have a psyche, that you are an individual, autonomous human being, right? There's a developmental milestone that passes through the that age, the high school, teenage age, into like that junior adult thing that I call like the 18 to 22. Like you're just barely an adult, but you are an adult and you are
Yeah,
capable of handling a lot. And so when it comes to the resilience, the adaptability, the idea that you would grow up and in that launching period that I would call into adulthood and into being out in the world and earning and being self-sufficient, all these wonderful things. There is a moment in there where you're inventing yourself and you're creating your identity. And we want our young people to have very strong identities, a strong sense of self-worth and everything like that. And that does not come just you turned 18 and you've got it. You've got it all. Like
yeah,
you're heading towards something and have that upward aim and that trajectory that you're plotting a path towards.
yeah,
Instead, what's happening with our young people when they get to check out on the devices and all those things, I do call it checking out. You dip out of the social interaction and you're in your own world. Too much of that isolation is just affirming the non-interaction with the world,
yeah,
right? And you feel fine being just with yourself. And
yeah,
that's not a healthy place to be for humans because that's not how we're like neurobiologically wired. It's just not how that works.
yeah,
And so it might feel good in the moment, like you say, the dopamine hits.
yeah,
But long term, it's like a flat line. It's not real living. It's just
mm,
that hit after hit after it
yeah,
doesn't actually really have substance, anything that you're really going to really care about long term. So that's what's at stake for these things, for this whole conversation for me when it comes to the digital reset and all the things that I talk about with my programs. It's like I started doing the coaching thing. I started talking to kids. I started to want to help them with their success and their path forward. And I had this thing called clarity mapping. And then I had to zoom out because I couldn't get to the clarity mapping because they were kind of checked out and they didn't know themselves and they didn't know the world and they weren't even curious about it. And
yeah,
when I zoomed out a little and I was like, okay, what's going on here? Immediately the issue became the devices, right? And the whole digital world and gaming and like just technology in general, but mostly it's the phone or a tablet or or the gaming thing. It's where you can disappear into a different world, right?
Mhm.
And a virtual one and many times an isolated one. And
Mhm.
so looking at that, I was like, okay, well, we need to change our relationship with technology, hence the reset part. And
Mhm.
then I was like, okay, well, I can't get to the kids because just like what you're saying, Greg, like if the parents aren't aware and if the parents aren't, creating strong boundaries around this, the
Mhm.
child's initiative in it, like if I go to schools and talk to them and equip them and teach them how to reset, it
Mhm.
really won't matter if the grown-ups, the government, the school, the parents, like if we don't create a community and a culture and the conditions for our
Mhm.
kids to grow up to thrive, what chance do they have against an AI technology that's mapping their mind? Like it's not going to happen, right? So that's how I have a program that stacks one, two, three, digital parenting workshop, total digital reset, then clarity mapping programs, but they emerged backwards. I had the clarity mapping program. I started doing the digital reset with students, and then it became, okay, we need community, we need the conversation, we need all the grown-ups to get to the table to have this conversation because there's really truly a problem awareness gap. You heard me talk about that in that talk that I
Yeah.
gave. And so that's where I felt like I really had my head around the whole climate, the whole ecosystem for our children. Like this is the ecosystem, this is what they're growing up in. And at any moment they can just dip into technology and check out. And
Yeah.
so what's really exciting, and I mean, I'm just a new voice to this year, really, is when I've started to get really loud about it. But there
Mhm.
are countries and states in the United States that are making changes that is absolutely inspirational. What Australia is doing, there's a post on my social media.
Oh, that, yeah. Is it 16 or
Yeah, comes into effect tomorrow. Just, I believe the 10th. I
yeah,
don't want to be misspoken, but
yeah.
no more tech for the kids. I just love what they've done. Um, in New York State, I'm here in Niagara. So New York State's like a neighbor town because Niagara is a border town to the United States.
Yeah.
And they're bell to bell, no cell phones in the schools. So
Yeah.
from the first bell in the morning to the last bell at
Yeah.
the end of the day, no
Yeah.
phones. So
No.
these kids their environment at school changes, right?
Your parenting did was it your parenting workshop that you
Yes.
do? Is
Yes.
that so you do that with parents and kids like in the same at the same time, or is it just with
So,
parents? What do you do with that?
well, I encourage parents bringing their kids. And it
Okay.
depends on what age the kids are. So it's like
Yeah.
when I get booked in, I'm just looking off to the side because I have like a poster that I'm working on for a
Gotcha.
specific school. I just have it drafted here, but I'm looking over and I'm like, when it's elementary school, I realize a parent could bring an 8-year-old, you know? But listen, I get parents booking into off my website. I have this discovery call thing that I do. I book 15 minutes with parents all the time. I want to be available to have this conversation because
Mhm.
there are parents being pressured to get their 8-year-old cell phones. That's one of the most recent calls I've had this past week, or last week. Sorry, it's Tuesday. Yeah, last week.
Yeah.
So an 8-year-old demanding to have a phone because peers have 8-year-olds are bringing cell phones to school. So
Yeah.
it's like that, right? So I'm thinking my whole answer all the time was when the digital parenting workshop comes to your school, whether it's I mean, if it's high school, they pretty much probably already have a cell phone. So the whole thing, the metric was, does your child have a cell phone? If they do, you bring them to the workshop
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
this is a problem awareness gap. And if you're going to have that technology, and now what parents are saying to me, well, they have a tablet. I'm like, okay, then like they have to be part of the conversation, right? So
Yeah.
I encourage parents bringing their kids. We get into it. It's like a 90-minute experience. We talk about all the things. We talk about all the things about what the impacts are, how the tech is designed, what it's actually doing, how it's mapping and tracking and recording everything, and why it's so potent and powerful and how it can just keep you hooked, right? And then we kind of move into, well, it's just stealing your time, so it's stealing your life, right?
Mhm.
And these kids, I will tell you, care. And in the workshop, you see a transformation in like, okay, I don't want to fight to
Mhm.
give my phone 5 hours of my life every day. Because that's
No.
the average, right?
Yeah.
93% of children's spare time is being spent on devices.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know, we could argue whether that's productive time or not. Like,
Yeah.
that's, you know,
Yeah.
likely not, right?
We all
Likely not. So whatever percentage
know.
you want to assign, probably a high percentage of that 93% is just passive time that's not really productive towards anything
That's what it
meaningful.
is. It's the content.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just got you hooked and it's entertaining you and you think you're enjoying it and you think that this is life, right?
Yeah.
So that's why that was what the conversation always was come into this world, like come to the workshop, come into the conversation, learn what's in play, learn some strategies, understand this is your time, this is your life, this is your future, and
Mhm.
get into a more empowered conversation, like with your family, with your community, and with yourself, right? There's an internal development piece there that a lot of kids care about deeply. And especially it's very, I mean, it can feel really sad sometimes, but it's very empowering to me that when a young person, 8, 9, 10 years old, is like, wait a second, that's true. All I'm doing is just whatever they're doing that they've been allowed to do on these apps, right? And so we get into all that. Part of digital parenting workshop, I actually get into, hey, they can have a phone that's completely locked out, that they can't have social media.
Of course. Yeah.
Like they can have a phone where they have just the contacts of real people that they know in their lives that you can easily check who are their contacts in their phone,
Yeah.
who are they texting with, and have an old-fashioned phone conversation with their friends. I mean,
Yeah.
connection is a very potent piece of this.
I thought about getting a rotary phone. I really should. I got a phone jack in
The
the house still,
rotary,
right? Oh, the old little red
the
rotary
dial
phone.
it.
Yeah.
If you hit
Oh,
it wrong, you have to
yeah.
start over.
Yeah.
Remember the days? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah, we really did grow up in an age where we had to have a little bit more patience with ourselves, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so those are the things that come up, and it's really important. Like there can't be any shame or blame around this because I say it all the time, like the digital world came and conquered, and we were not prepared. No one was prepared. Nobody knew what this evolved into.
Yeah.
It was pictures and likes, and it was harmless, it felt
Yeah.
like,
It
right?
was a revolution. Yeah.
Right. And it was connection. I mean, I remember like being able to message someone on the other side of the planet. I mean, my family's from Poland. I suddenly could text my cousin, like, what are we talking here? Like
Yeah.
connection, right? It was powerful. And then now it's like it's evolved into something that a lot of people are not aware. So that problem awareness thing is really very real for me. And educating in the digital parenting workshop about what it really is today. It's like I'm illuminating for people the playbook that is the same one that was used in the 80s with the tobacco industry.
Mhm.
Oh, does smoking cigarettes cause cancer? No, no, we don't think it does. Like, come on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's that kind of thing that's in play right now, and people don't realize that, going along with whatever it is and believing that your child's going to figure it out and the world's going to figure it out and the tech is just going to be part of life and it's not a thing and it's not a problem. I mean, that's what I'm here to help educate, bring the research, bring the knowledge, bring the experts. I love that you said that you got off, like you went and found Jonathan Haidt, and did you say
Yeah.
you listened to him
Oh
like
yeah, I've heard of
2
him
hours?
before, but I watched another video of his the next day because you reminded me of him. Yeah, when you in one of your slides there. So yeah,
Right.
I tapped into him a bit more, and yeah,
He's amazing. I listened to
oh,
him. He
he's
had a,
great. He's well thought out, well spoken. Yeah,
it's all very researched, very important information. Because you can observe it in your kids. All you need is like a day or two and just look at their behavior,
yeah,
and you can see for yourself what's happening and is this developmentally necessary and is it going to be fruitful like in the end, in the future? Are they going to be these capable, resilient, very emotionally stable people?
yeah,
Or are they going to be dipping out and checking out into devices and not wanting to interface with the world and all the things? Like, one of the most powerful things that I do in my coaching is be curious about the human being in front of me.
yeah,
Like these students are not used to feeling that level of empowerment and importance. And
Hmm.
I'm just like, you're here to do something. And I'm very curious about what that is. And I
Yeah.
know it's not just the scrolling and the being entertained thing. Like, I
Yeah.
know you care about something, and I know you have gifts and strengths and skills, and we need to discover those things. Like, that's what the GDP is all about. That's what that whole school community is for. I
Yeah.
want people in an environment where there's inspirational things to consume that are uplifting and helping with that upward aim and that trajectory of where your life could take you. And
Hmm.
so I'm just learning how it all works. It's an amazing space. And I feel like that's what we need to be creating for our kids everywhere, in our homes, in our schools, everywhere. It needs to be a different dynamic. So yeah, I'm really pumped about that. And then I know we talked about the digital reset, the total digital reset, and I wanted to share a little bit more about how that came about, because that came about with a bunch of students.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we talked about, so OAPSE is the Ontario Association of Parents for Catholic Education,
That's
right?
right. Yeah.
So I was so blessed to meet them in May, and we partnered, and I've been speaking at various events with them in partnership since we met in May. And right before that, like this is how I really feel like all of this is very spiritually guided for me.
Mhm.
Because for the past 3 years, I have been helping with the confirmation formation at the local school, my church. So I belong to St. Alexander Church here in Font Hill, and we have the school is right next door. The kids come once a month to mass and to an hour of instruction. Kind of, we have these games and we have all these different kind of exercises that we do, and we share and we talk. And it all came about because my daughter, when 3 years ago, when she was going for her confirmation, she was talking about how nobody really talks about the spiritual side of life and that kind of development like I do. So she and I have always been in this kind of conversation together. Um, and she appreciated it. So it led to me volunteering, participating in trying to create something more deeper and meaningful for our kids.
Yeah.
And so in May, the early first week of May, we had the retreat for the kids. It's an all-day retreat. They don't go to school, they come to the church and hang out with us and have lunch and all the things. And then the next day they have their confirmation. And so we were having this conversation, and I was really just genuinely just prayerful and asking during Mass. I believe we were actually having adoration. We were having this beautiful, beautiful experience. And I was asking and praying, is this experience complete for the kids in their preparation for confirmation? And what came down for me is to remind them how precious their life and their soul is and the journey that it's on, that God has this dream for them. So I opened up that conversation with the kids and I said, like, there's something in the way though. And the kids are like, what? So I started the conversation. I said, how much time are you spending on your phones? And the kids, their hands are flying up in the air and everybody's shouting a number, right?
Yeah.
And there's like, in this particular class, we had almost 60 kids. So it's a whole room full of kids sitting around these round tables, and about 8, 10 kids a table. And they're all shouting numbers at me. And I eventually arrived at, we're talking about 5 hours average a day. And all the kids were like, yeah, that's about right. So I got out my phone, got out my calculator, and I said, let's do a little bit of math.
Yeah.
5 hours a day is actually 101 days a year. And
Crazy.
I can tell you,
Mhm.
when they
Yeah.
were shouting the numbers, they were all fired up, right? They were
Mhm.
like, yeah, 5 hours, three, four. One child said 9 hours, and they're like, what are you doing? The kids were even looking at this child going, what are you doing online for 9 hours? He's like, gaming and on his phone.
Yeah.
That combination into the night, right? So
Mhm.
when we talked about it, when we got to that 101 days, and the 101 days factors for 8 hours of sleep a day. So you got 101 days if you slept for 8 hours every day, and all you did was spend time on your phone. So
Yeah.
immediately the room just fell silent. You could hear a pin drop. And it was like, is this really living? Was the
Something. Yeah.
question that I left them with. Are you really living, you know? And a lot of kids, it was very sweet and very sentimental, but also really heart-wrenching because they were saying, well, what else are we going to do?
Mhm.
You know? And so that's at the heart of all of this. It's like we need to reimagine what it's like for them and how much time they have on their hands, and that they need to have the opportunity reach for something better.
Yeah.
Right. And so we get into that conversation when we do the total digital reset. That's that second program that I talk about. And in the reset, that's the framing in their mind to understand how much time is passing and did they really actually enjoy themselves, right? So we get to the that experience. I'll share with you. It's like 9 modules. Like if I'm in a classroom delivering it, nobody knows it's 9 modules. But if it's purchased off my website, it's 9 things, 45 minutes. It's a handful of worksheets. The worksheets are like doing the math thing and looking at how you're spending your time.
Yeah.
And the most fun thing that comes out of that experience is they start to really reach for each other and the bonds of like, hey, let's meet up at the park. Hey,
Yeah.
let's get in the kitchen, let's look up recipes and bake something. Like kids coming back to me and telling me they learned how to make pancakes or a grilled cheese sandwich is
Mhm.
hilarious to me
Yeah.
because they're using technology for what it's for. It's enriching
Yeah.
their lives, their experiences, their knowledge, their
Cool.
skill sets, right?
Yeah.
Like the skill set piece is the best one. Like they're doing crafts and things like that. You probably remember me talking about the 12-year-old girl coming back and saying she actually made the sock puppet that her grandma
Oh, yeah.
taught
Yeah.
her the crafting
Right.
kit. You know, she's like, she made something.
Yeah.
And do you know how like her spirit, her
Yeah.
energy, and her body was like
Yeah.
huge. She was like,
Yeah.
I made this. And she had this,
Yeah.
it was like show and tell, you know, it was like such a big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah. It was
Um,
a gift that was given to her, right?
yeah,
That
like
she
at
made. Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we're doing the experience in like springtime. So months have gone by and
Finally
she's,
made it.
you know, and the thing about that experience, I remember sharing the deeper layer to that was this young girl when we were actually learning the reset, not like, so what happened was this is a local school to me. So I was able to come back the next day to see like, hey, what did they get up to? Because they
Yeah.
were all going home from school thinking about time and how
Yeah.
they spend it
Yeah.
differently. So there was kids coming back saying, hey, we went to the park. Hey, we
Mhm.
got in the kitchen. Da, da, da. And this little girl, she was the sock puppet thing was pretty fun because it's like show and tell. And it's like she made it. So she was really, really like fired up that she
Yeah.
made something, right? And then the
Yeah.
bigger piece was that she shared with me that it never occurred to her. It never occurred to her to not have to be tethered all the time to
Yeah.
the connection with her friends. Like the
Mhm.
habit of picking up the phone in the morning and just everyone snapping each other around and doing the streaks thing and all the stuff that they do.
Mhm.
You know, this is what's keeping them sucked into these
Yeah.
things. And so that was the revelation. It was like, okay, I'm a grown up. And I can't enter into a child's world like that. And the way she shared it with me to understand that it never occurred to her. So just like take a step back. She
Yeah.
is a child. So she's actually telling me she didn't have the framework. She didn't have the logic center, like to say, okay,
Yeah.
look at the pattern that you're reliving every single day.
And
And
how old was she?
grade 7. So
Grade
like,
seven.
what is that? 12, 13?
12? Yeah. 12,
Yeah.
13. Yeah.
Yeah. Just, and it was a revelation for
Yeah.
her that
And
gave her
very
back
liberating, right?
the, hmm?
Liberating for her.
Yes, like oh,
Yeah.
she was, you know, and she was
Yeah.
like, oh, like, you know, so in the reset we talk about how real life first and the technology second. Like
Mhm.
you live your real life first. You prioritize the real life things that you care about.
Mhm.
And then you can connect if you need to. Like the one thing that's really interesting is like, okay, you can connect with your friends. Are you making plans to go do something? Like, are you meeting up? Are you going to go have an experience? Of you go for a walk, go to the
Yeah.
park, throw a ball around, whatever. I don't know. Like the kids can come up, they're creative. I
Sure.
don't need to come up with creative ways that kids can get up to having some fun. You know,
Yeah.
maybe climb a tree like we used to or whatever. I
Yeah.
don't know. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah.
not suggesting that they're going to go do something completely dangerous and that, whoa, the world is unsafe. It's not like that. Like, we can come up with safe ways for them to actually be doing things that enrich their quality of their life.
Hmm.
And that's the thing that's coming back the most is that's what starts to awaken. Like
Hmm.
when like I don't even care that it's technology. I don't care what the thing would be, but
Hmm.
it's in the way of the real life thing, like really
Yeah.
living,
Yeah.
right? So for our generation, for the modern world that we live in, this connected technologically, I mean, we have like a supercomputer in our hands. Like,
Yeah.
what does that mean? And are we still like human beings being human, So
Cyborgs.
yeah. Oh my gosh. I think back when I was a child, I loved Star Trek.
Yeah.
And the thing about the episodes that had the Borg, do you remember?
I wasn't a Star Trek fan,
No?
but I
Okay.
remember cyborgs. Yeah.
Well,
Uh,
specifically, I don't know about cyborgs, but specifically the Borg was
okay.
this thing where they didn't have an individual identity at all.
Uh,
And they were like, my name is one of seven.
oh,
Remember
yeah.
that? I don't know if you didn't follow
Okay.
it, it's fine.
You're ringing a
But it was
bell.
this idea of literally no individual
Yeah.
identity
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
You were part of a
Yeah.
pod.
Yeah.
And however number of
It's sad.
oh, it
It's
was like
sad.
I
Yeah.
just remember they were gray and like a steel color, and it was
Yeah.
really crazy. And they had no individual like autonomy to think for themselves or do, and they just took orders from like however they were connected and everything. I remember
Sounds
that from
about
my
right. Yeah.
yeah. So like the identity piece thing, it's just like a really big deal to me because when I look at kids these days and I just see them like this, just scrolling and just like it's like oh, I freak out because they're not present to themselves, who they are. They're not curious about it. They don't know the world.
Hmm.
And that trajectory that they're on is a flat line, it feels like.
Hmm.
And I think when the moments happen where something catches their curiosity and their interest, we grown-ups need to be cultivating and nurturing and stimulating that they pull on that thread and get curious and like, hey, if you're going to use a technology, go research what caught your attention. What is it that, and
Yeah.
and the kids are coming back with some fascinating stuff. I mean, I love when I've got like, I don't know, a 13-year-old talking to me about what was the latest thing? Finance industry. And
Mm.
do I think that like cryptocurrency is going to replace like it's just I'm like okay, let's talk about
Uh,
it. Like okay,
uh,
you're in grade 9 and you are okay, we're talking finance and crypto and like okay. Do you know
uh,
what I'm saying?
that
Like
could be a whole other problem later.
and I'm
But
like
no,
I'm
but at
gonna
least his mind is opening up to some
well
other.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't even know where it's going to go, but I'm sitting there going, you know what? This is going to be really wild if like 5, 10 years from now, this kid's going to come to me and be standing in front of me and be like a banker dude or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, and
Totally.
just like, like the world, they wake up to the world, they wake up to themselves, they kind of find how that
Yeah.
matches
Well,
up.
we need bankers.
Yeah, we
So,
need, I
yeah.
mean, money and everything. Like, so like
Yeah.
that was an interesting conversation to get into the whole crypto finance future. Like, is this the world? Like, what are we heading towards? I'm like, I'm not, I only see certain things. Like my wheelhouse here is this reset world,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
anything that unlocks them,
Yeah.
anything that just pulls them towards their future, puts them on a path where
Yeah.
they're, you know, great discovery,
Well,
right? It's
see, it's
like,
great what you're doing. You're starting a conversation.
yeah. I
You're not
mean,
forcing it, but you're saying, "Hey, there is a conversation, and it's really good." And that's
yeah,
why I'm gonna.
I'm
I'll
so
bring
grateful.
this
I'm
episode.
glad that we had this time to talk and everything else. And I was saying that I would even do like a show and tell. Do you have a little bit more time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
good.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at my share screen here.
Yeah.
Let me see how this is going to go. I just
Yeah.
want to share because we're on right now and interesting. I get to pick if you get to see me next to the slide. Okay. Let's see. Okay, this is going to be interesting. You have to tell me what you see.
I see it's you and me at the top. Yeah, and then I see what your screen on the
Okay.
main page. Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. So this is we're like behind the scenes of how I work on my business.
Here
So
we
I
go.
just sent you this kit this morning, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So I just want to show you, like, okay, just because everyone's here on the call, I have this kit that I'd love to send to people. Whoever's interested in having me come speak at their schools, there's information on what the problem is, this digital crisis we're in. There's a note from me, and then we get into talking about the three programs that I have. Those are the ones. And then I have individual information on each. I'm just going to click through them, let them load. Because if you're curious, you're curious, and then you can get in touch with me. And then the other thing that I'm working on is I'm working on a reel today, so I'm putting together this reel where I'm going over the problem. So it's the same content that was on that the kit.
Mhm.
So anyway, those things are available if people message me, get in touch with me, and then the way that it works is I'm figuring it out, right? The number one thing I want to do is come in and be in the conversation with school communities. So any school, any group of schools, like I'm hearing from high schools and their feeder schools that they're going to work together to
Mhm.
bring the digital parenting workshop to their community. They do it in very many different ways. I'm game, like whatever you have space for, and
Yeah.
then I can come in and speak and bring me in. You can reach out. We can talk about what that looks like, what the investment is, and we can make the plan to get me out in 2026.
Yeah. So Lucy, you say so you do some math equations with the kids to find out how much time they're wasting, right? Do you ever put a dollar amount to their hour and show them a dollar figure? Like say kids' time, say it's worth as they're young, because they're young, it's almost worth more. I know they
Oh,
think,
sure.
"Oh," right? Like
Sure.
say you should do that with them. If it's a math, show them their time is worth $100 an hour when they're young, or
Right.
at least $50 an hour,
Right.
right?
So you know what? We know we get into it in a different way, and not in a different way. We get into the money conversation, but what
Okay.
it is from the lens of how much the tech billionaires are making off of
Oh,
them being
yeah.
on their platforms,
Oh,
how
yeah.
much ad dollars every time they see an ad. Hey, guess who got some money in their
Interesting.
pocket? But did
Yeah.
you get some money in yours?
Yeah.
You
You
know,
didn't get a cut.
so the kids get really mad. They're like, wait a second, that's true. I
Yeah.
just spent, 5 hours on this app, and
Mhm.
even at minimum wage in whatever country you live in,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you didn't get a penny for
Yeah.
being on their platform, right? So that's the way that we do it. And then when the kids start to learn, like in the high school age, they do start to learn if they got a job and what things cost and all the things. Like sometimes it's just really interesting. They don't value their time. So we that does come into it. But we're talking about like, hey, guess who's making money when you're on these things, right? And that it's not you, right? And the other thing that's interesting is that the problem isn't the technology, right? And that's shocking to anyone that listens to me speak. The real problem of this whole thing is that there is only 24 hours in a day.
Mhm.
Those are the hours of a day. Like
Mhm.
that's a hard fact, right?
Yeah.
So if you had 100 hours a day, okay, maybe five wouldn't be so bad, but you don't. You have like
Yeah.
the 24 and then
Yeah.
five. And then you need to sleep. And then you need to do the biology thing with the eating
Yeah.
and the showering and the grooming and whatever. Like at some point, how much time do you have to actually live your life?
Yeah.
So the problem isn't the tech.
Yeah.
Because you can easily, whatever, if we're going to talk about it as in being like hooked on something, being addicted, there's lots of things that could just pull you in and occupy your time. So the real issue is that there's a constraint of time. And
Yeah.
that's how I do the total digital reset. It's from a framework of be careful how you spend your time. And then
Mhm.
that sets the kids up powerfully to understand that time management is a piece. It's definitely a piece to be, you need to be intentional with it
Yeah.
for success to be a possibility,
Yeah.
right?
It's your most valuable asset. Your time.
Right. And so
It's valuable. Right.
that's the conversation we get in. So I don't even actually, if you can believe it, I don't actually vilify the tech.
Yeah.
Because if the tech led you to learn how to make grilled cheese, yay tech. If it led you to make plans with your friends and you all met up at the park, 5 stars.
Yeah.
Amazing, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, if you were, able to plot and plan and do a workout routine and all the things, and you learned how to do this and that and the other thing, and then you start to, get really healthy and fit and you really enjoy that,
Yeah.
yay tech, right? Like, there's so many ways that it can enrich our lives, but the constraint is time. So I do that whole thing inside the clarity mapping program. There's a heavy, heavy emphasis on how you're spending your time. Are you intentional? And are you really enlivened and inspired in your life? What are you up to?
Mhm.
Right? And so that's why that whole community on school is called the Great Discovery Project, because we are a work in progress. It's a project. Like we're
Mhm.
figuring it out, we're discovering the things, and
Yeah.
we're up to something more interesting is what the hope is of the whole thing. So
That's good. I'm glad you started. You're starting somewhere. You got to
we're
start
so
somewhere, right?
it's been so great. It's been so great for me that we jumped on and did this recording, and it's been so great, like how the whole thing stacked up, like doing the speaking thing. You visited my website. Now you're part of my school community. It's just the
Yeah.
greatest thing ever. There's a lot, like I have principals and like parent council chairs coming into the community to see what I'm up to. And I'm gonna have more in there and I'm figuring out what the needs are and what the content needs to be, but it's about that curiosity.
Mhm.
Staying curious, staying in discovery mode for whomever comes. And I want the students to come and I want the parents, I want everybody to come along in a new conversation, like elevate our game, start really living. Like, what do I say? It's called reclaim real life.
Yeah.
Like this checked out, numbed out scroll thing is just, I'm done with it. I'm so done with it. And I'm
Doing
parenting
well.
in the trenches right now, 16 and 18. Like it's like
Yeah.
this is a real thing and it's not easy.
Yeah.
I'm not the popular one, like it doesn't like, we're all guilty of it. Like the way that my kids look at me if I'm on my phone, and I'm like, I have an online business. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
let me work, you know? And sometimes I have to show them what I'm doing because they're so
Yeah.
suspicious. They're like, you're smiling. You must be doing something.
Yeah.
You must be scrolling somewhere. I'm like, yes, I'm
Yeah.
listening to Jonathan, or I'm
Yeah.
listening to,
Yeah.
he's helping me with my mission. So anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, so the struggle is real. There's no way to sugarcoat it. What's at stake here is our children's futures. Like it really is. It's the way that we show them what life is like, what's possible for their lives.
Yeah.
And you're at a great spot. Your kids are so young. I bet you they don't have cell phones yet, not one of them.
One does because,
Ah!
well,
No,
hey,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I
Yeah,
can't
it's
marry.
good.
Yeah. Well, it takes
The-
two, right?
You
So
can, but listen, you can
one
lock
got
that thing
mom's old
out.
phone. Mom's old phone. Yeah.
But you can lock it out.
Yeah, and there's definitely. I'm glad the schools obviously don't let it. I hope it's going to be the same if I have a say in it. It's going to be the same in the high school. No social media.
Yeah,
At least till 16.
so do you have when it comes to this child that has the cell phone, do you have like sorry, I'm going to say it differently. Is
Yeah.
this child able to load apps on their own on the phone?
Yes.
That would be if I had to leave you with a kernel of something to go look at, that freedom, that open access to
Yeah.
whatever app,
Yeah.
that's something that needs to be locked out.
Yeah. Because then that can have.
So
Yeah.
like so for
Right.
me, the iPhone was the phone that my kids got and I had their Apple ID until they turned 16. So every single app that they would ever download went through me first.
Gotcha.
And many, many games did not vet my scrutiny.
Even with games, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Greg,
Yeah.
oh
I
my
know.
gosh,
I know.
we
Listen,
have been
there
together for
was
a
an argument.
lovely
This one
time.
game my kid wanted, our oldest,
What's the
is
game?
The game he wanted was called, I think it's called Daddy's Home. And Daddy's Home. So the idea of the game, you're
Hmm.
the baby and you're supposed to try to kill yourself without dad saving you. Have you heard of this game?
So
Daddy's
you've
Home.
made my point for me.
Yeah, you're the baby trying to like commit suicide. So you're either trying to get hit by a car or flood the house or something. It's ridiculous. So that obviously he didn't get that one. He's 10, you
I
know.
mean, God bless you. I'm so happy that you caught that. So that's why I'm saying, so for us, I had the app, the ID, the login, the phones were locked out basically, like at the highest level. There was no hacking
Yeah.
it, and forget parental controls inside. No, if you're not controlling if apps can be loaded, you
Mhm.
don't have control. So
Uh-huh.
you have to be so, but I cannot tell you how many times for the first 6 months that they got the phones. Mommy, no, I need this. I need this. I mean, come on. I know what that's like. And
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, you're not getting my password. And sometimes I'd have to leave and close the door so they weren't in the room so I could actually let them have the app they wanted. I'd
Yeah.
have to download it so I could see what it's doing, and then I'd watch.
Yeah.
And then if I didn't know what the heck was going on, and if I had strangers reaching out to talk to my kids, if I had them asking to get
Yeah.
into personal private spaces to
Oh
chat
yeah.
direct, this whole Roblox thing, like you've got to just like, there's got to
Yeah.
be a waking up and an awareness to this. And the only way to really secure your children is to be in control of these environments that they don't have access to them. So
Yeah.
you can have a 10-year-old have a phone and it can be completely safe if
Yeah.
you stay with the boundaries of that the only people they can ever contact is
Yeah.
the people they know in real life that
Yes.
you trust
Yeah.
and that you know who their friends are and that they're in connection and communication with people that they're safe with. That's your
Yeah.
job, right? Like the 10-year-old, right?
Yeah.
And so like I'm so happy that you had that realization with that one game, but I'm sure that there's 50 more around the corner and
Well,
you got to get
like
that thing
I'm
locked.
almost more, it's not even about the violence anymore. It's more of the concepts.
Oh,
Concepts and the ideas being normalized. Like there's
and the
things like brain
manipulation,
rot.
right?
Yeah. It's like what the whole concept of that game. I'd rather watch Saving Private Ryan with him than let him play that game. At least there's a, you know what I
You're
mean? There's a
absolutely right.
historical
You're
aspect to it,
absolutely
you
right.
know?
You're at, oh, and
And
so and I think that what you've just illuminated is how naive we can be if we don't know
yeah,
that this is what's in play. This is what's out there. And
yeah,
this is I don't have it on the tip of my tongue, but this is what we're wired for attention, like our brains.
yeah.
We will our I have to say it the right way. The technology, the app giants, these tech billionaires, they know how to hold our attention, and holding our attention means from a negative slant.
Hmm.
Because,
I see. Yeah.
just like let's walk through a beautiful meadow. There's no app that's like that,
Right?
Like that's
Yeah.
not the one your kid's gonna want,
Yeah.
okay? Maybe, okay, now I just invented a beautiful app. No, it's probably like the Calm app. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
things that are good for the soul and good for humanity and good for your nature and your development,
Not
that's not
natural.
likely what they're going to, because they're not going
Well,
to hold attention,
well,
right? And it's
that's
not,
why then it's very similar to what you're saying. That's why the news is bad news.
yes,
It's the
because,
same part of you,
and it's turned
right?
into the
There's no the good
entertainment.
news. You don't tune in to watch the good news, and there's tons of it,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Of course there is. Every day
yeah,
there's wonderful things. People are
yeah.
up to wonderful things and doing
But
wonderful
it's
things.
the
But
negativity, the
there's
silliness.
like there's a word for it that's just not happening for me right now, and that's okay. I am barely accurate most of the I mean I try hard, but it's like it's not I'm not a computer. I don't try to be a computer, so I won't be able to recall everything perfectly, but just understand that if our kids are really desperate for something, it's probably coming from an edgy place. Like it's got some sort of an angle to it that why is it entertaining to them? Because it's probably got some extreme flavor to it, some sort of an edge. It's straddling some kind of line. You know what I mean? Like, so you got to think about what your values are and what's important to you. And we do need to protect them because this is not a thing they're going to be able to figure out on their own because by then it's too late.
Well, to go back to Christian roots, what's always been said is that the devil comes with a suggestion. It's
That's
it's
right.
an invitation,
Right.
right? Like there's truth in this. There's deep truth
Yes.
in it, right?
The biblical stories are as accurate and real today as they've ever been. And if we
Yeah.
can't come back to, there's an elegance and a simplicity to it when it comes to, the word, studying the Bible. You would be just open it to any page. It'll probably have a story that'll be relatable in modern times now.
100%.
And
Always
that's
will
the
be.
thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing that is really interesting to people, to young people, especially like I said about the confirmation formation. When they start to understand, wow, these themes in life in the world are it's
Yeah.
like they're ever present. They don't go away, and our awareness is what's really powerful here. And we don't need checked
Yeah.
out, numbed out, entertained kids that know nothing. Like we
Yeah.
need something of depth and substance
Yeah.
to guide and nurture them with because they're so great. They're so, who even knows what's in there? We don't know because they come, fully like they have so much goodness, so many gifts and things, and we need to be curious about them. Like, I can
Mhm.
tell you, if I could leave you with a thought, like the kids that I talk to, I have to battle with them to convince them that there's something in there that's worth
Yeah.
exploring.
Yeah.
Like like, I don't know what to call it, but just like this, I have this insatiable appetite for my curiosity for them. Like I just want to know more about them and know
Yeah.
more about them. And they get exhausted by me, but then they start to think and they're like, wait a second, maybe there is something there that's worth something that's important that,
Yeah.
and you start to see them come alive.
That's good, Lucy. That's good.
Like
You
that's the thing. That's the thing that I hope will be the thing that saves us all in the end always because that's the gift, right? That's life, that's the light.
Yeah.
Discover that light inside of us. So yeah, not to get too preachy, but
Yeah.
when you see the lights come on in a child's eyes and like you see them, sit up and they're taller and
Yeah.
they're brighter and they're just like hungry for something more.
Yeah. That's success right there. Oh.
And that's all we have to do is if we're just committed to unlocking that, like creating those conditions,
Mhm.
they'll take it the rest of the way. I can promise you that. I think that that's human nature is to just, but if you're never shown, if you're in the dark
Mhm.
and you're just doing the things that you're doing because everybody's doing those things,
Yeah.
that's the tragedy, right? That's where the sadness and the stuff that keeps me up at night. Like I want to get up to this. I'm into this conversation. And I feel like if we can change this conversation and do better for our kids. Like I mean, I talk about the whole consumer protection thing. We're on in Ontario, Canada. I'm looking into like what is it to be activists in this fight to protect our kids.
Mhm.
Like I may have mentioned, I don't think any child should be reachable by strangers through
No,
any app,
no way. Yeah.
right?
No.
What would be the purpose, right?
Yeah.
So parental involvement in these things and just like handing kids technologies that can have them connected and in games and things that are doing the kinds of things that you were just suggesting. I mean, like we're on the verge of some very serious issues with AI and synthetic relationships and the AI companionship thing like Mark Zuckerberg
Yeah.
May 7th, what was it? Wall Street Journal talking about how everybody should have an AI best friend. And
Yeah.
meanwhile, AIs are encouraging children to kill themselves. Like, anyway,
Hobbes' nightmare. Yeah.
this is something that I don't run out of energy
Yeah.
talking about because what I know for sure is so many parents are just working hard, trying to keep it together, take care of their families, do all the things. And if they're not aware, I'm here to make them aware. This is my job. Like that's what I've decided. This is my hill to die on. I'm going to just be working hard to be raising the alarms and awareness so that people know what the dangers are. Because right now it seems to me like they don't. They trust and they think that we're okay and that we're going to figure it
That,
out.
that's sad. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I think. I'm so grateful for the time and the conversation.
Yeah,
I
me
don't know.
as well, Lucy.
Do you have anything else that you want to say?
Well, you've hit a lot. Yeah, people just have to wake up to this the kids using these technologies, and there has to be more guidance, and it can be bad if these kids don't find other things to get attached to or be
Right,
interested in.
right,
That's all, then the phone is all they're going to have.
right.
And the best time to start is now, like sooner rather than later. Don't wait, even if they are older. Start now
Yeah,
if
like
you haven't already,
yeah,
right?
we have to course correct, reset, whatever we got to do.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
have to get our
it's,
heads around it and give them a better shot at the future, right? At their
yeah.
future, at discovering themselves and all the things. So I'm so grateful. I'm glad we did this. We jumped on this
Me
call
too,
and did
Lucy. And
this.
again, thank you for start. You've started the conversation. I've mentioned you to my wife. I've said we got to do more. You mentioned, yeah, I got to check out the apps that my daughter, if she can download apps. I'm pretty sure she can. It's just the games and stuff. But
But you just
yeah,
don't ever
we can
know.
all do better. We can all do
Yeah.
better,
Yeah.
right?
So I'm so glad. I'm so glad we did this. And I don't know, we're gonna be putting this up everywhere, like the
Sure.
wherever people are finding it, this is great. And if you're looking for more information, the website my website, shineonmethod.com, it's gonna be somewhere in the links wherever you're watching this. And this is just so fun to
Great.
watch with this, so spontaneous. So Greg,
Great.
so great
Yes.
to meet you for the first time.
Well,
I hope it'll be in person one day. I hope to come to your
yeah,
school.
definitely. Yeah, me too. I'll definitely be rooting for you and pushing for you to have this done. So
I'm grateful.
again,
Thank you.
thank you very much. God bless. Merry Christmas in a
Yes,
couple of weeks coming up, and
you
yeah,
too.
we'll talk again in the future on the
Yes,
show.
thank you. I'm so grateful. Thank you for taking my information back to your parent council and all the things. I'm really so grateful. And yes, Merry Christmas. Enjoy those kiddos. It's the best
Thank
time
you.
of year.
Absolutely,
All right,
absolutely.
we'll
Yes.
see ya.
Okay.
Thanks. Bye.
Take care. Bye for now. Okay. Bye now.